hardware, bring that realm together to think about connected solutions, to think about team enablers that have not been thought of before. So bringing the virtual and physical worlds together has a lot of meaning. And one of the things I learned in my last 4 years was the power of cultural transformation, the power of transformation. I'm here to kind of help with the journey that Cisco's on in terms of cloud transformation. And what I've learned is the power of culture, power of teams, power of explaining the why as part of that culture. And I'll be spending a lot of time describing to you the why today and getting to hear your feedback, obviously through the channels and follow-up sessions that we'll have. So start with my fundamental principle, one of wanting to have technology fade away in the background. We want to get to a place where the word change management no longer has a place in our lexicon. The word user training no longer has a place in our lexicon. So in a sense, we'd like to get to a place where the simple barriers to adoption are no longer present, and a user is able to discern simple experiences at a very affordable rate. An example would be our video first experiences now, along with augmented reality, bring together a set of compelling, affordable scenarios forward for us. And just to take this forward, to level set and see where we are in the industry today, we live in a disruptive economy. Nearly every company has decided to be a disruptor. They're not getting disrupted, now they are the disruptors. And how do we help these organizations make progress in terms of taking advantage of what they have, as well as bringing efficiency through workforce transformation, through transforming the culture of how they work, transforming how people become effective. And that's pretty much a problem facing organizations today worldwide. There is a war for talent. There is absolutely a dearth of skilled folks. And it's not just because we don't have people, because the skills in demand are changing on a daily basis. What is in demand today becomes obsolete tomorrow, and there's rediscovery, there's experience required. We see it in our industry all the time. We're looking for people who've got the experience of running cloud services. Cloud services haven't been around for a long period of time. So that's an example of the type of skills transformation that the world is headed towards. And obviously, the workforce has changed quite a bit. The workforce is not task-oriented. The workforce wants to have fun along the way, wants to have a sense of empowerment. And if you don't provide them a sense of empowerment, they just don't get a sense of ownership of what you're about to give them. There is a need for speed. I think there's an adage that's used quite a bit in companies. We want you to do more with less. It's not said, but it's common notions where they will say, hey, let's do this, and this. Oh, I don't have resources. No, let's just figure a way out of getting it done. That's common culture. So the need for speed is fueled not just by the fact that we want to innovate. It's top-line growth, viral adoption, while maintaining bottom lines. That's a key notion that we see in the industry today. If you look at employee experience, employees have gone from tasks to group-based work, and that transformation is happening at a pretty rapid pace. Some of it known, some of it unintentional, some of it people don't really know that they're getting into a group activity now. So there's cultural dissonances that are at force. And if you look at the landscape that an employee or a knowledge worker has to deal with today, it's a set of disparate apps, disparate tools that have come together as the business has organically and inorganically formed itself. These disparate tools, in certain cases, a lot of prevalence of SaaS these days. Divisions and departments adopt these SaaS services because these services seem to be closer to the culture of the team rather than being disruptive to the teams. Yet, when you have many of them, you will hear CIOs say, I don't really have control over this. And in a security landscape that we live, in a regulatory landscape that we live, it's just not possible to have this level of dissonance of experiences. Not only that, I think employees yearn for intelligent workspaces, not inefficient offices where they have to whiteboard using a dry erase marker that smells and you have to throw it out into the bin. That was my life 3 months back. So that's inefficient workplaces, and it doesn't belong in a modern workplace anymore. While employees are tasked with the job of innovating at pace, we cannot forget that it's the age of the rise of regulation. Geopolitical pressures are leading us to have more regulation. Things like GDPR are good things, but you're thinking about data sovereignty all the time as we build product, as we build software, as we build end-state solutions. We have to think about regulation from the get-go, from the time you get on a design canvas all the way to productization and service. Regulations are on the rise. And as part of the disruptive motion, this cannot be an afterthought. It is very much part and parcel of the journey itself, and it needs to be part of how people work. Agility obviously has started to play a big role. People have figured ways out of getting around this log jam. I need to move fast, I need to do things. I don't know how many of you know about Spotify. They're a WebEx customer too. Spotify came out with this whole engineering agility concept back in 2012, 2013, when most of software was shipped in a disk, and they had changed to software as a service, and they had to get into an agile mode of how do I deal with the market pressures of staying competitive, how do I stay with the market pressures of delivering product, keeping a service running while innovating at pace and managing competition. So they went into an agile motion where the HR org as we know it was just an HR org. It's nothing more, nothing less. It is an artifact that is a necessary evil of regulation. But how we work is now changing to where it's a set of teams that band and disband, that basically are outcome bound, and the whole ecosystem around open source came about. Open source is more about teams contributing their work and going away and having the mass expand on it. So crowdsourcing type of a model is pretty much a network of teams, network of empowered individuals who are bringing together capabilities and outcomes. So the new way we work is today, or heading towards the world where we live in a canvas for teams, a canvas for collaboration, a canvas that goes wherever we go in terms of a workflow. And what do I mean by canvas? Canvas is where groups, individuals coming together for an outcome operate in unison, operate with synergy. And that unison and synergy for the team is knowing their purpose and remit, understanding what they do, and having the tools to collaborate and have communication. We all know the lost in translation that happens when a senior director talks to a director, and a director talks to a manager, and a manager talks to an engineer. If you ask the engineer what was said, he'll tell you something different. If you ask what the senior director said, it's different. But now the world of losing time as a result of such a predicament is something we cannot deal with. So the team canvas of communication at all times, a collaborative canvas where the apps we live in is interconnected, interleaved, is where we are headed, and where this canvas travels with you from desktop to mobile phone to the endpoints, and gives you the ability to band and disband, create teams at will, while bringing the knowledge forward. Persistence brings knowledge forward. So workforces are attriting at a fast pace. Nearly 14% of the US workforce changes on a yearly basis in terms of jobs. And in certain industries, it's even higher. For example, in retail, with the temporary workforce, it's nearly 30-35% every year. How do you keep that tribal knowledge of an organization and the culture moving forward? Persistence comes into play in terms of collaborative workspaces. Now, there's a couple of things that we should talk about here. Our strategy, I just want to resonate our strategy. our strategy with the collaboration toolset is focused on these 4 imperatives. We innovate on the collaboration canvas, the canvas I talked about. Whether it's WebEx meetings, Teams, our devices, we are continuously innovating at pace on this collaboration canvas, incrementally making it better, learning on a daily basis. We have basically built a continuous learning platform fueled by the cloud. One of the biggest advantages of the cloud is usage data. We know how end users are using our systems. We know when we have a less than ideal experience for an end user. So we are able to distill that data and use the power of the cloud now to decide what should we prioritize, what do we work on, what's the experience. We have techniques like flighting that come in. Basically, we are able to expose new experience to a smaller set of customers, use them as a test bed, and eventually qualify them. So this whole concept of old, a set of early adopter customers is now getting into the cloud itself.
Are you not going to take questions?
I'm going to take questions towards the end.
Okay.
And we have a hard stop at 2 o'clock, so at 2:30, so I'm trying to get as much. I'll be around for questions, for sure. In terms of amplifying our customers' current investments, customers live in a world where they've invested in a set of on-premise assets, IT data centers that are not going away. In certain cases, they are there to stay. They are in different stages of their journey of transformation, driven by their IT mandate, their enterprise mandate, in certain cases, regulatory needs that are driven by the sovereignty they live in. So we've got that customer base, and we are amplifying their investments. When it comes to investments of the sort, how do we take on-prem video endpoints and cloud WebEx boards, having them interoperate as one. Not only that, as we accrete data, the power of the cloud in many ways is efficiency through intelligence. I think you saw our demo on WebEx Assistant this morning from Tim and crew. One of the reasons why we can do this better than most others is because we have a quorum of data unlike others. A graph of data, interconnected data that allows us to provide you relevant information. Relevance in AI and machine learning is of utmost importance. If you can have all the algorithms, but if you don't have the data, you're not going to serve up intelligence. You're only going to serve up garbage that nobody's going to use. And finally, our focus is we believe in building bridges, not islands. We're not trying to build these shiny objects that nobody can achieve. Our goal and purpose is to make sure what we build is consumable by our users. And in a continuous update world in the cloud, our customers stay current with our innovation train. We have challenges in this area, and this is a focus for us in the next year. Now, teams need a workplace that's focused on innovation and speed, where the virtual world and the physical world, the on-premise and the cloud, they start to come together. Every part of the meeting room is going to get digitized. Every part of the virtual meeting is going to get digitized. And the digitized data is going to drive how we live and work in our meetings. Our portfolio, I think we've talked about this morning, calling, WebEx meetings, WebEx Teams on our Cisco WebEx devices. The part I want to focus on is the platform underneath is now an open canvas. More and more we are opening up APIs so that we can start to drive an ecosystem that thrives on our data set, thrives and provides value to our customers while bringing value to us in terms of more data so that we can drive even more interconnected relevance. Now, to my point of bridges, not islands, this slide is very poignant. The arrows are not incorrect in direction, they are correct. So Cisco WebEx customers, if you are a Cisco WebEx customer, we automatically update you to Cisco WebEx meetings. We start that journey in July, and we pretty much over the summer months, we expect to update the large population of our customers. We know a number of our customers are in lockdown, and the lockdown version frequency is increasing, and we plan to intentionally, drive value through these continuous update processes to a point where lockdown is no longer necessary at our customers, on our customers' terms. Not only that, once they get to WebEx meetings, WebEx Teams becomes available to them automatically. So the experiences of team collaboration start to come to WebEx meetings customers. So for example, if I have a recurring meeting, pre and post activity on that meeting, the content from that recurring meeting, all of it should be available for that group of people in the recurring meeting to operate on a continuous basis so that they can derive value out of the work that they're doing. So you'll see a lot of that come together. Our endpoints, our devices will be primed for the best experiences with meetings and teams. That is our promise, and you'll see a lot of that in our roadmap that I'm about to talk to you about. So just to re-emphasize the strategy before I go a little deeper, one of the parts of the strategy I talked about was platform. The open collaboration canvas, if you look at an enterprise today, I'm going to, at a very high level, an enterprise deals with identity problems. They need productivity tools. Identity can be AD, can be Azure AD, can be a whole bunch of other providers out there. Productivity can be Google or Microsoft Office, Office 365. We see all flavors out there. And then obviously we are the leader in collaboration, and we expect to interoperate with both identity providers and productivity providers seamlessly. We are investing ourselves heavily. The whole graph announcement was about investing ourselves so that we have the plumbing to bring this data together, and hence drive the adoption curve, hence make the technology blur in the background. So to talk about this further, I'd like to invite Guillermo Diaz, the Cisco CIO and SVP, onto stage. We are driving this journey alongside Guillermo, where he's adopting Office 365 for us, and we are making collaboration a first-class citizen, a customer zero for us. So I think of it as a reference architecture for the two of us to build amazing outcomes for our engineering communities and eventually outcomes for our customers. So I'll let you take this away.
Thank you. So Shree's been here 45 days. I've been here 18 and a half years, so I think somewhere we balance each other out there. But I do think one of the things that you continue to hit on, which is great because we now finish each other's sentences. And the thing about where we have been in the past, it's about, I still talk to my team about sort of this stick figure of a person going, which tool do I use? Do I use email? Do I use Jive? Do I use this tool, that tool? And what we really want to do is bring that experience to the user. The technology starts to fade in the background. It's still the key enabler, but it's adapting to the experience that we want to drive. And Sri, you hit on this notion of the canvas, which is perfect because it sits really well with our vision of the intelligent collaboration experience, which identity is at the heart of that. It's the heart of the digital employee. Where I go, I can do whatever I need from a productivity standpoint. It's personalized, and so that I can keep my job, it's also secure.
Yes.
So that's a very important piece. So and that is really a key driver for us. It's faster, it's personalized, but it's also more secure. And foundationally to that, using the capabilities that we've partnered with for quite a while with your team. I'm now really excited to partner with you on this with what we've done with meetings, what we're doing with Teams, and these other clouds that I'll explain in a second. But first I want to really walk you through our journey. And again, I've had the opportunity, as there's also several folks on my team who have also been mostly on this journey as well. But if you look back in the early 2000s, it was really about how do we take voice over IP, how do we take voice video data and build a platform, consolidate that into a common platform. And that's where we saved a lot of money, where we consolidated. And what we found was, over the years, having these tools, these capabilities to make us more productive, which is really the second part of your canvas.
Yep.
So being able to be more productive using these tools, whether it's messaging, whether it's video capabilities, and building that on top of this consolidated platform, which then leads us to where we're at today, which is driving this value of the experience and starting to move the workflows to where we work every day. So as a Cisco employee, I come to work every day, I want my tools, I want my messages, my messaging, etc. But I also am, working on IT service management, or I'm working on CRM. So bringing those into the workflows that we do every day. And we've been able to do that in partnership with your team through things like our CRM platform, so Salesforce.com. So we have integration with meetings in Salesforce.com. Or being able to do that with ServiceNow for IT service management, bringing that into the workflow. But I think the one thing that, interestingly enough, you come from Microsoft, that we've been working on, not just recently, but especially in the last year, working on the productivity part of this, which is how do we take meetings, how do we take our own WebEx capabilities, along with the power of Microsoft tools, and bring them and integrate them. So we've now started to work very closely, and we're rolling this out. We're moving from Exchange into 365, and one of the key drivers of that was making sure that our collaboration capabilities and Microsoft's work seamlessly together. And Sri, that's where I'm really excited about partnering with you on this journey. Being able to drive more of that. Moving from the on-prem to the cloud to the multi-cloud world. And that multi-cloud world may mean that we have a private cloud, we're connecting to public clouds, etc. Right?
Yeah, I think Guillermo's point of public cloud, multi-cloud is very important. Multi-cloud, if you look at the disparate tools that I talked about, multi-cloud refers to not only the collaboration cloud that we have, it refers to Office 365, it refers to a private cloud, your IT data center, it could refer to Salesforce. It's the combination of this set. How do you secure it? How do you bring seamless experiences across the board? And I think one of the things that I would say is we're building a reference architecture of how Office 365 at Cisco and collaboration can deliver on the promise of cultural transformation.
That's right.
And what we're doing is, to his point of calendar integration, we're not just doing it at the surface level. We're basically making it a proper graph integration that basically stands the test of time. Microsoft is investing with us. Okay?
We've partnered directly with the top leadership in Microsoft engineering and Cisco engineering to actually make this happen. And I do want to say one thing is I'm a customer. So the folks that are out there in the other auditorium, and in fact I just had a good lunch with quite a few of them. And they're like, we're in the same boat, right? We're big Cisco customers, and we're big Microsoft customers. And wouldn't it be cool if you guys actually worked together? Because I think that's where the power of this is going to happen, and that's what's really starting to happen. And I think one more thing I'll just end on, which is back on the original vision, is we want to be able to bring the technology, kind of put it in the background, but bring it to the experience.
Yeah.
So the enablement of the technology, but the power is in the culture. The less that we have to do with changing our people, the easier it's going to be to drive the adoption. And I think I'm really glad you're here, and I look forward to partnering with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Guillermo. So leading into that discussion is, I'm sure you heard about WebEx Graph this morning, so I want to give you a little more context into it. We have a whole bunch of data in our cloud. Some of it's structured, some of it's unstructured. It's actually in use in a lot of our services now, whether it comes to directories, phone books, some of the intelligence that's being driven within the assistant, search experiences within WebEx Teams. A number of these experiences are driven off entities that you see on this canvas. What end users and employees have to deal with is a lot of context switching between the experiences that surface on this data. And a lot of these data, the data lives in a multi-cloud world. And when you live in a multi-cloud world, they're not naturally interconnected. They don't interoperate well. So our focus is employees need connectivity and engagement. And that engagement is going to come by way of the WebEx graph, which starts at the team, adds productivity tools to it, obviously Office, and team is also about identity provider. The productivity tools are either Google or Office predominantly. You have physical spaces. IoT comes into the mix here. Devices in these rooms, knowing which employee uses which meeting rooms so that you give them a better experience as they walk in. Things of that sort are part and parcel of how we think about the graph. I can think of at least 100 scenarios that can be enabled as we stitch this connectivity tree together. Not only that, exposing it to business process, end state business process on whether it be manufacturing, distribution, retail, supply chain. We see immense opportunity in this graph being part of the connective tissue that we expose to enterprises. You'll see us bring this together in phases, and I'm just giving you visibility of the phases very quickly. And these phases are some short-term click stops in the next 3 to 6 months. You will see us bring together a hybrid directory that is not only device specific but people specific in the next 3 to 4 months. The ability for me to say this person uses this part board, WebEx board, sorry, and this room series endpoint most of the time is something we want to do. And not only that, maximizing your investments in on-prem. As you add more and more on-prem video gear and WebEx boards, these two need to interoperate as though there's no difference between the two. So that's our commitment, and you will see us invest a lot more into common identity, contact sync, making sure if you're an Office 365 customer, we are able to leverage real-time integration with the Microsoft Graph. That's what we want to do. Whether it comes to calendars, contacts, emails, activities, tasks, we'll be right there, because the automation of the pre and post meeting experience is paramount for us. So you'll see us expose the open APIs so that we can start to amplify our partner ecosystem. Data is king. Once they have the access to data, they're going to start building a whole bunch of capabilities that eventually will accrete data back to our graph. So before I go into roadmap, I clicked a little too fast. I want to showcase a couple of quick demos for you. We've got a team in Oslo, Norway waiting for us, and the best way to do this demo is on one of these devices from WebEx meeting. I'm going to use proximity to join this meeting, just like we did earlier today, and have that team show us some of the amazing capabilities that they're coming forward with. So there's proximity, I click on it, and the power of proximity allowing us to join, and you will see our
what you don't see is our team, but on the also team they went to bed.
They went to bed?
Yeah.
So, just showed the proximity demo, okay? The other part we want to show, so we leave this meeting. That's proximity for you. Then we show the hybrid directory, which is coming out this quarter. So this is a WebEx board, cloud connected, and I'm going to pull up an on-premise endpoint. So we have one somewhere in the back room here in the hotel itself. So we will call one of our folks here. Hey guys, how are you? Say hi to the room here.
And
He's on a smart board. Thank you. So from a smart board, we call an endpoint on the back. Not only that, I have a few other things. We've talked a lot about Microsoft today. You must be getting bored with the Microsoft talk. So it's not just Microsoft. We want to show you a few other capabilities. So if we can switch to this machine. So there is Salesforce. I did not think I would be doing a Salesforce demo since I came from enterprise apps at Microsoft so fast. But here I am doing a Salesforce demo. There's always a first. So I'm logged into Salesforce and I'm trying to track a set of opportunities that are important to me. So let me go into the Opportunities tab. And the one that's of interest to me is Rand Green, the account. I go into this account and I see that we have a set of opportunities that are up for renewal. We're going to make a ton of money. I want to know the propensity of us closing this deal. So I'm just going to, I see, hey, I know Ruth, the account manager. If I was not in this collaboration canvas, I would have sent her an email. Next day morning, when she finished her work, she would have reached out to us. I don't know what's going on here. Hold on. So let's do a video call with Ruth just to ask her the questions that we had for her. So this would normally be an email interaction. Hey Ruth, how are you? Oh, we can't hear you. Hold on. We cannot hear Ruth. You are so smart. So, let's use the space. Ruth. I still call her Ruth. Are you closing Rand Green? So she dropped. Let's see. Okay, good answer. Yeah, right. So that was it. I don't know, we had some audio trouble in the audio in and out. And she's right. She is one of our team members, Amy. So very quickly, let's go back into my slides. And for talking about the roadmap, which is the most interesting part of this discussion, I'd like to invite our 3 product managers, Connie for meetings, Amit, and Espen Doberg. So we are coming out with roadmaps that are very specific in the next quarter, and they are a little lower fidelity, they are directional for the next 6 months. And we will refresh this roadmap every 3 months. So you'll see a roadmap come out in end of June, end of September, and middle of December. Middle of December because of the holiday season. So without further ado, let's talk about meetings. And you're being timed. Not 9 minutes, but he said 5 minutes.
5 minutes, all right.
Okay.
I'll go really
you don't
fast.
have 5 minutes.
No. So the main thing is for the rest of this quarter, we're delivering that brand new video first experience. Very excited about that. The new desktop app, the new web pages, and we're also rolling out a slew of integrations, including an Office 365 new add-in and a Google native calendar scheduling capability. And then on the network and platform side, we're ramping up a country expansion on audio and also new toll numbers in India. Second half of the year, we focus on having a seamless integration with WebEx devices. So you can walk into a room with your WebEx app, seamlessly pair and share locally, as well as share into a meeting. And that also brings the video endpoints into Event Center, as well we're going to launch a new transcription service. On the integration side, we will continue to interop with Skype for Business, better video experience there, as well as integrate the Microsoft Graph. You saw the demo earlier. And then on the infrastructure side, we're going to actually improve the audio-video quality, provide quality of service, and allow customers to actually leverage their UC infrastructure to directly call into WebEx. And so I'm going to stop right there.
Awesome.
And I'll turn it to Amit.
So Amit, let's talk about WebEx Teams.
WebEx Teams. So lots of good things coming through the year. As we reiterated a number of times, the mission for us is to enable our teams to do their best work in this app. And to your strategy pillars, Shri, the roadmap is central or is anchored around two central themes. One is delivering on the bridges, keeping your or amplifying your investment. So all things you saw in the demo today, the beloved WebEx meeting is right inside your WebEx Teams. Right? That does a number of different things. I mean, for us, leveraging the best-in-class meetings is a given, but for the end users, it should be one of the most logical outcomes. If they have Cisco technology in there, the endpoints or the meetings, WebEx Teams should be their natural choice for doing their teamwork. And we've taken one major step in that direction this week. We're taking a similar approach towards calling. So many of you may be aware of our investments in hybrid calling, where all the call management infrastructure works with WebEx Teams. We have some calling features available, and through the year, you will see us make progress on that, getting some more of those, like hold, resume, conference, transfer, or integrate the in-call presence in there. And that way, really the teams or the users of the teams can just stay within their app and get what they need to get done. Right? So that's the first theme. The second theme is around the open collaboration canvas. And as we talked about the integrations and we saw the demo about Microsoft Flow and Power Apps earlier today, but there are really three focus areas. Workflows is obvious one, there's content, and then there's user experience. Regarding the workflows, you will see us deliver on Microsoft Flow, Power Apps, Force.com ecosystem, Active Directory integrations. We'll also integrate with enterprise content management systems, SharePoint, Box, OneDrive. And the objective for all of this is to really take the friction away. And the important thing about workflows and WebEx Teams working together is we eliminate the workflow black holes. Right? How many of you have some expired email you forgot to approve, 24 hours have passed by and you have to redo the workflow? Right? You have to take that pain point away from you. Last but not least, all of this has got significant implications to your user experience. When we think of pulling together the business apps and integrations into your single work pane, if you will, or canvas like you said, we have to be very intentional about the user experience. And through the year, you will see us make progress on the embedded content delivery or bringing embedded app experiences within the WebEx Teams.
Yes, but you have 45 seconds.
In 45 seconds, it's
you can smack a minute later on.
Absolutely. So protecting our customers' on-premise investments, that's part of this. And making sure all our customers use WebEx meetings with our devices, regardless of if it's on-premise or cloud. It's about making our devices work with both the Teams app and the Meetings app. It's about making the board work in on-premise environments without the apps. And it's about delivering a lot of new experiences in the Teams world.
Awesome. And we have a set of administrative capabilities to come with it to simplify the whole principle of technology fades away in the background. So making sure effective onboarding, manageability, operations, the ability for you need to have immense faith that we have your security and compliance needs covered. And that's our focus for our customers. So with that, I'm going to stop. Ben's going to set up a call for questions. Ben, is that a promise?
Yes, so we'll set up. First of all, Sheila, we're sorry we couldn't get your questions. So just with all the content that we did have, we figured the time wasn't going to work out, so we will set up a call and we can do some follow-up. So, but hopefully this was a good overview and insight into strategy and priorities. We wanted to make sure, with Sri coming on board 45 days ago, that he was able to outright, and you guys can hear it directly from Sri who's leading the group. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Looking forward to working with all of you.
All right. So the next session that we have is, and ZK's here now, so everything's going to be okay. Tom Perot and Mike Kessler are going to take us through calling strategy and priorities and Cisco BroadSoft coming together. So, looks like Tom's got to get mine. Are you mine, Tom?
If you want. If you want to.
Alright. So I think you guys all know Tom, so but Tom could do a quick intro and then jump into this. So.
Yeah, we'll go. We have 45 minutes with all you fine people. Okay, so I think this prezo is a combination of myself and Mike Tesler, the former CEO